Hey, thanks for joining us. The time is now 7 a.m. I'm Phoebe Murray, and you are watching 15 News Plus, streaming live on Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, or our free WMTV 15 News app.
Connected to you on all devices and wherever you stream. This is WMTV 15 News Plus.
Well, today is Tuesday, August 11th, and we want to give you 5 Wisconsin headlines of the day in 50 seconds. The Wisconsin Department of Justice has named the officer who shot and killed Corey Ruiz during a struggle involving a knife on Madison's Near East Side. Kyle Badinger Peterson has been with the department since 2015, serving multiple units. The owner of a Madison Airbnb is scheduled to be sentenced next month after hidden cameras were found inside his home. Patrick Says pleaded no contest to 8 counts of invasion of privacy. Officials with the Big Dog Ranch say they will be getting 150 beagles from Ridgeland Farms tomorrow. This will be the final transfer of dogs since they began moving beagles in April. Yesterday marked 2 weeks since a destructive tornado tore through the Fox Valley, and Governor Evers is now requesting FEMA to conduct a formal storm damage assessment of the area. The number of confirmed cyclosporiasis cases in Wisconsin has climbed above 200, more than double what it was just 2 weeks ago. It's our first 5 in 50 seconds. For a deeper dive into any of these stories, you can download our free 15 News app or head to our website, WMTV15news.com. Let's take a peek out of the roads on your Tuesday morning. This is 1214 at Mineral Point Road. You can see traffic is moving along smoothly here, starting off with some overcast skies on what is shaping up to be a first alert day for some possible severe storms moving through our area. It also coincides with primary day here in Wisconsin, Delaney, so people are going to have to kind of pick and choose their voting plan throughout the day.
Yeah, a lot going on. We've been dry, quiet for the most part, aside from a few scattered showers through the early morning hours. It's the mid-morning into the early afternoon time frame. So around 8, 9 o'clock, we'll start to see those storms progressing. They're already just to the west of the Mississippi, so we could see some of that even a little bit earlier into the far western parts of our area, and then moving eastward into the early afternoon. So strong to severe storms will be possible, producing gusty winds as the main concern. Storms are going to be most likely, or the severe weather I should say, most likely in a line from La Crosse here to Madison and over to Milwaukee southward. That is the area where we have that scattered 2 out of 5 risk in place. You could see some sunshine peeking through the clouds here this morning. It's 71 in Madison with the dew point at 69. So it is humid out there. Winds are easterly at just 5 miles per hour, and those will stay very light through the day, aside from whatever winds that we do see in these storms as they roll through. And temperatures throughout the area, upper 60s to low 70s. And again, though it is quiet here in southern Wisconsin, the storms back to our west right now in Iowa, that is the area of concern that we have our eye on, as that is what is going to be giving us our shot at any strong to severe thunderstorms across far southern Wisconsin. In fact, a couple of those severe warned right now for some gusty winds at around 60 miles per hour, small hail, and also those heavy downpours, frequent lightning. So that is what we can expect as those move into our area. This is 9 o'clock. Again, those storms moving in from the west, continuing eastward into the early afternoon. So I would say around 1 p.m. that's when we can expect to start to see these storms moving out over Lake Michigan. Back behind that, not a bad rest of the day after a wet, stormy start. We'll see those clouds clearing out, getting into some sunshine, dry conditions to take us into this evening. So just be weather aware for the first half of the day, and then we continue with periodic chances of showers and storms as this front remains stationary just to our south. That will include the mid-morning to early afternoon hours Wednesday tomorrow. So similar timing to what we've seen today, and then also what we saw on Sunday to wrap up the weekend, and then additional chances for some showers as we head toward Thursday before Friday. Looking quiet and more rain chances as we head into Saturday as well. So no single day is going to be an all-day washout, but there are on and off again chances, with the best chances I think for widespread storms, but also heavy rain for your Tuesday today. So we do have that alert day in place, as some of those again may become severe with gusty winds as the main concern. Then we stay just at average, if not slightly below, near that 80-degree mark through the week before some nicer weather as we head into early next week.
All right, Delaney, thank you. Today is the Wisconsin primary, and polls are now open. City clerks across the state, they have spent months preparing for these voters. And our Ellie Pomerleau is joining us live from Rock County, telling us a little bit more about what goes into preparing for a day of this magnitude. They're from a polling location. You start to see people there walking behind you, wanting to cast their ballot. Good morning, Ellie.
Hey, good morning, PB. Yep, polls officially open here at the Rock County Resource Center. We've been here all morning long. It's been really cool to kind of see behind the scenes what has been happening leading up to the moment here where the polls opened. One of those being the poll workers starting to flood in at 6 a.m. this morning, getting in here, getting to set up, and this comes after months of training for them and months of hard work for the clerk's office preparing for this day. I had a chance to speak with the Rock County clerk throughout the morning, who tells me they actually started preparing for this election specifically back when they were working on the budget for 2026, and then months leading up to it, springtime, they start to really buckle down on what they need to prepare, getting those ballots ready, helping candidates finalize the things that they need to, and then it's been crunch time here in the last few weeks. And they specifically mentioned with an election of this side, you know, voter turnout anticipated to be lower than other elections, but this really gives, you know, the county team an opportunity to test things, to run through things, and kind of just get their feet under them for when it comes to some bigger elections like the one coming up here in the fall. So it's been really neat to see behind the scenes this morning. Energy has been high, lots of smiles from poll workers. Actually heard one poll worker compare today to Christmas Day. A long day ahead, but our team will continue monitoring the election and the results throughout the day and throughout the night, and of course bring you the latest. If you need any information about getting out and voting today, we do have a voter guide available on WMTV15news.com. For now, reporting live, Rock County, Ellie Pomerleau for 15 News.
All right, Ellie, thank you for that. And there are several high-profile races that you will see on your ballot today, and that includes deciding who the two candidates will be in the race for the governor's office come November for the general election. On the Democratic side, you're going to be able to choose between 4 candidates, and they are State Assembly Representative Francesca Hahn, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, State Senator Kelda Royce, and former Evers staff member, Governor Evers that is, Joel Brennan. However, you will see several names listed, including Missy Hughes, Sarah Rodriguez, and Mandela Barnes. They have all dropped out of the race after the filing deadline, meaning they will still show up on your ballot. Absentee voters who have already voted for one of those candidates will not be allowed to change their vote. And on the Republican side, you have Congressional Representative Tom Tiffany and Andy Mansky. Today's races are considered a partisan primary, meaning you can only cast a ballot in one party's primary. Voters cannot mix Democratic and Republican partisan contests on the same ballot. And again, polls will be open until 8 p.m. tonight. As long as you were in line by 8, you'll still be able to vote. For absentee voters, completed ballots must be received by your municipal clerk by 8 p.m. A postmark alone is not enough. And if you are planning on voting in person today, we have some reminders before you head out the door. Make sure you're bringing that government-issued ID. Those include a driver's license, photo ID card, passport, military ID, or an unexpired Wisconsin student ID. Make sure you are registered to vote, and if you aren't, you can register at your polling place. If you want to check your registration status, find your location, or see what's on your ballot, you can head to myvote.wi.gov. And a reminder that if you need a ride to the polls in Madison, Union Cab is offering free rides to and from polling places. Union Cabs also have wheelchair accessible cars. If you'd like to request a ride, you can call the number you see here on your screen and ask for a Democracy in Motion ride. President Donald Trump signed an executive order cutting the number of universally recommended childhood vaccines from 18 to 11. The order reaffirms a sweeping overhaul Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced earlier this year, one that has already been blocked in court. But a Fitchburg pharmacist says the confusion is already hitting home and phones are ringing. WMTV's Tabitha Bland reports.
We've already had a couple of moms calling up, and they're worried, right? They have little ones that they know are going to need vaccine in December, and they're worried about, what's going to happen.
Those concerns come after President Trump signed an executive order.
Today, we're proud to officially announce the United States of America's gold standard childhood vaccination recommendation.
Under the order, vaccines for COVID, the flu, rotavirus, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, and bacterial meningitis would no longer be universally recommended. Instead, left to parents and doctors to decide together.
America's recommended more childhood vaccines than any peer nation, and even twice as many doses as some European countries.
But pharmacist Thad Schumacher says the science is clear.
Our president should not be making decisions about the health care of children. And when things are taken off the schedule, then pharmacists are required to get either get a prescription for each vaccine that the child's going to get, if they're going to continue to give them.
Schumacher also pushed back on the order's focus on autism.
So there's a reason for such epidemic rates of autism.
To date, there's been no studies that have linked autism with vaccines.
While some pharmacists disagree with the executive order, their goals sound very similar.
It's up to the parents who are making recommendations that are strong, but it's up to the parents.
It should be between their parents, child, doctor.
All right, Tabitha, thank you for that report. And Secretary Kennedy's previous attempt to overhaul the vaccine schedule has already been blocked in court, as we mentioned. However, it's not clear whether this new executive order will face the same legal challenges. Next up here on 15 News Plus, the final beagles are set to be released from Ridgeland Farms tomorrow. More on where they're going and other top stories from the capital city in 60 seconds. Good Tuesday morning from Madison. I'm Phoebe Murray. Here's a check at the top stories we are following. A Madison area swim coach is now out of jail after he posted his $500 signature bond. We're also learning new details about what led up to the arrest of Carl Milholland last Thursday. According to a criminal complaint, a search of an external hard drive found at his home. They found thousands of images and videos, with many depicting child sexual abuse material, including some images of children in what appeared to be a bathroom stall or changing room. The 72-year-old man was a private swim instructor for area youth and a non-staff coach for the Monona Grove High School boys swim team. He also taught adult swim lessons at the Shorewood Hills pool.
Mr. Milholland has significant ties to the area. He's already retained counsel. I think he's demonstrated that he's a person who's likely to come to court, and we're going to order a signature bond with the conditions that were requested by the state here.
Milholland is not allowed to have any contact with kids or teens unless an adult is supervising, and he cannot access file sharing websites. The Wisconsin DOJ Investigators with the DOJ, identified Kyle Badinger Peterson as the officer who shot and killed Corey Ruiz. State investigators say Madison police officers responded to the Marquette neighborhood about 1 in the afternoon, July 22nd. But this update clarifies why officers were called in the first place, saying someone reported a person checking parked vehicles. The investigation also revealed Ruiz was also wanted for alleged burglary attempt. According to the investigation, the 4 officers attempted to detain Ruiz, but a struggle ensued. During the fight, investigators say Ruiz pulled out a knife, hurting Badinger Peterson. 2 other officers tried to use a taser on Ruiz, but the taser didn't work. Badinger Peterson then shot Ruiz. One legal expert that we spoke with says the presence of the knife will be a factor in how investigators assess this shooting, saying that he believes they will find this shooting justified because of that knife. The last remaining dogs at Ridgeland Farms are expected to be released this week. Officials with Big Dog Ranch Rescue say they will be getting the remaining beagles from Ridgeland Farms tomorrow. More than 150 dogs will be moved. 140 of those we know are puppies. Ridgeland Farms in Blue Mounds is ending its dog breeding, sales, research, and testing operations. This will be the final transfer of dogs since they began moving beagles back in April. Big Dog Ranch Rescue says the total number of beagles transferred and rehomed has reached more than 2,100. Each weekday, be sure to tune into Wisconsin 360 streaming live at 9 a.m. We take a look at stories making headlines for markets all across the state, including developing stories here at 15 News. Those are the top headlines from the capital city. For 15 News, I'm Phoebe Murray. Have a great day.
WMTV 15 News to your Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, or Google TV today, and never miss a moment of 15 News Plus.